President Trump's COVID diagnosis in the first round of presidential debates, you got to wonder what kind of impact has it had on the upcoming election. I have David Lamb here with me to talk about that. David, President Trump, he tests positive for COVID-19. And, you know, everybody's sitting like bated breath, you know, breathlessly. What is this going to mean?
Right.
Does it mean anything?
Well, there are some early polls. The poll numbers out. You know, they're this close to the race. There are polls coming out every single day. But there is a Reuters poll taken after the president was diagnosed, and it went public that he did have COVID-19. Biden jumped 51-41. That's a jump of a couple of points. That Biden's lead increased over the president, but specifically on the subject of the coronavirus and this administration and the president's handling of it. 90% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans feel the president caught the virus because he did not take it seriously. Not surprised the Democrat numbers there, but half of Republicans believe the president caught it because he didn't take it seriously. 57% of those polled say they disapprove of the way Trump has dealt with the virus. That's up 3 points. So that is trending away from the president.
So all it did is it just caused more focus.
It did.
And it got the same talking points back out there. I was amazed when you had these boneheads out there saying, oh, he doesn't really have COVID-19. It was such a stupid play.
Oh,
I mean, it was like he's making this up. Right. The best play was exactly what you said. That is, you know, this should bring attention to how poorly he handled this crisis. And ultimately, listening to what you're saying, it sounds like that's what happened.
It did.
I got sort of lost in the shuffle, but we have a debate just days before President's positive on COVID. Any idea how all this came together and how it affected voters? The debate performance obviously was awful, you know, for both candidates, but they must have thought Trump was worse. Yeah. You know, I personally thought he was worse.
Yeah, I think it's
Biden, you know, he looked like a goofy old man sometimes, but what's your take?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a debate anywhere near that in your years of watching?
I've been following. I mean, it was almost unwatchable.
It was. And a number of folks found it was. There was high ratings when it started, but
by the way, the international criticism was over the top. It was like, really, these are the best two you've got in the entire United States. Yeah. They called it everything from political cesspool on. That was the whole world watching.
I know it. It was a global embarrassment is what it was. An NBC Wall Street Journal poll taken 2 days after the debate, Biden's lead jumped 53-39 over the president. That was a 6-point jump for Biden from a poll taken just 2 weeks prior. The biggest decline for Trump, and we've talked for weeks, months now, about these groups that you cobble together to get the votes on both sides of going after. The biggest decline for Trump among seniors and suburban women who are now backing Biden, 62-35. That's the seniors.
Wow.
62-35, wow. A group that the president won in 2016, and then 58-33 for the women. As far as who did better in the debate, that question alone, 49% thought Biden did, 24% thought Trump did. And again, he has that 35 to 40% that are his loyal followers. So 10-50% of them didn't think he even won the debate.
Yeah, so he moved into his regular, his regular mode, demagogue, rather than talking about real issues that he could have talked about. It became a screaming match. I mean, it was an embarrassment. I mean, both candidates.
Yeah.
And when the world looks at it and says, yes, it was an embarrassment, she was. Look, as this race, as it comes down, it's going to come down to a handful of battleground states. Give me your take on it.
So there are a handful of states that really are in play. New York, California, clearly Democrat. The southern states, the Alabamas, the Mississippis, the Tennessees, those are clearly going to go Trump and Republican. But of the states that we've been following, about 10 of them, solid Biden states. Pennsylvania, Biden 6.5. Michigan, Biden 5. Wisconsin, Biden 5. Arizona, Biden by 3. New Hampshire, Biden almost to 8.5 points. And Nevada, Biden 5.3. So now those are the states that are clearly Biden has a comfortable lead. If you look for the states where Trump, of the battleground states, that Trump has a comfortable lead, the best scenario you find is in the state of Texas. and that's at 3. At this point, the Real Clear Politics poll, which is the aggregate, the average of them, shows Trump up 3.2. The states that are too close to call: Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa. Trump won almost all of those in 2016. The fact that they still are in play is bad news for the president.
Yeah. Okay. And they're in play by a margin of anything 3 to 6 points.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you're calling the race now, I mean, I'm not seeing anything that's so dramatic. If I'm Biden, I'm saying, look, based on these numbers, yeah, let's have another debate.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're handling Trump, you realize there's really nothing you can do to handle that problem.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to do the same thing, but Biden can be handled a lot better. You know, and why do you say no to another debate if you're Biden?
You don't. Yeah.
What are the issues that are going to define this race as we look back the last few weeks?
So the issues that are most popular and matter the most, economy and terrorism, are 1 and 2. That's good news for Trump, both of those. Whenever it comes to what is all the rest of the top 5, which is the response to the coronavirus, healthcare overall, and education, that rounds out the top 5. Those lean more and are more helpful to Biden. A couple of things that to keep in mind here, Mike. You know, 3 weeks before the vote in 2016, that's when that Access Hollywood tape came out. Everybody said it's over for Trump, right? There's no way he can come back from that.
Myself included.
And me too. It just how could that happen? Yet he did. So I would say the scenario right now is bleak for the president, but he was counted out in 2016, and many of the polls were off. It's going to come down to who's going to turn out. Are the Biden backers and the Democrats feeling complacent, think they've got in the bag, and don't show up? Because you know Trump supporters are going to show up.
That's for sure. David Lamb, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.